What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today I want to do a formation breakdown video on the Power I formation in NCAA Football 06. I had a conversation with someone recently. We was talking about this formation, and to be honest, I don't use this hardly at all for several reasons, and I'll kind of cover that during the video. But I figured this would be a good time to actually do a video on every single play in the formation. Of course, we'll go in the practice mode, and I'll just kind of give you my thoughts on how I like to go about practice and such, and how I like to try to test these plays out. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we get into actually talking about the plays, I want to talk about the formation itself. It's a 32 personnel set. You got three. We can use our little thing for this. You got three running backs in the backfield. So that's three. Then you got two tight ends. So that's 32. So that's a 32 personnel set. Now you got this guy and this guy are your fullbacks. And this guy is obviously your halfback. And you got your two tight ends. So now let's talk about the, not the motions. Let's do the sub packages first. As I said, you got two fullbacks and a halfback. And then what's up next is your twin halfbacks. This guy gets replaced with your number two halfback. Next up, you got backup QB. That's obvious what that is. Then you got jumbo. Every single one of these, if I'm not mistaken, are fullbacks. I don't know if anybody would ever use that sub package. If you got that many fullbacks, then, you know, God love you. Halfback sub, it just puts in your backup halfback right here. And tight end flip, it just flips your tight end. So this is now your number one guy in the depth chart, and this guy's your number two in the depth chart. And that is it when it comes to sub packages. For the purpose of this video, since I picked Georgia, they got a couple decent fullbacks, but I think most of you will be using the twin halfback sub package. There's just a much better chance of you having a better number two halfback than a better number two fullback. So that's what we'll use for the video. Okay, now let's start off with triple option counter. And once we get to a couple pass plays, we'll talk about the different type of motions you can do out of this formation. But let's start off with a run play. And we'll talk about defense right now. Normally on the basic downs, you're actually going to go up against a base defense when you're actually playing the game. Unless it's third and short, fourth and short, or you're on the goal line, you will see goal line at that situation. But otherwise, you're going to see a base. So we're going to go up against a base formation throughout. We'll go up against a man play first. We'll go up against cover two man. Now, here's the problem I have with triple option counter. You cannot flip it. No matter what it happens, you just can't. The reason why is because this guy right here is your dive read. You can't move him over to do a triple option counter to the other side. The only way you can change that is if you flip the play. But what happens when you flip the play, look what the defense does. They shift as well. So we'll just go back. So this is the biggest downside for this play. Now, in this particular formation or situation, when everybody and their brother shifted to that side, I'll probably just hand it off to the fullback and just deal with it. I could have had something to the outside. But normally what I try to do is, here's another hard shift. I can keep it. You're just not going to get a whole lot out of it. But this is one of the reasons why I don't like to use this formation a whole lot, is because their cornerbacks are so close to the line that you just got to hope somebody picks them up. We all know that fullbacks aren't all that great at blocking to the outs. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. It just kind of depends on what happens. But it's a crapshoot. So those corners, I feel like they could do more damage doing what they're doing right there. That's why I always like to have at least two wide receivers out in the field. At least it spreads them out, gives them something to do. Now, in this case, on a dive read against triple, I always like to read the play side linebacker. I got this from Castle Ford in the comment section years ago, and it's probably the best way to look at it is if this guy comes down, you want to keep it with the quarterback. But if he goes this way, you can hand it off to the fullback, and we can try that. Now, this play is a little slow in terms of the dive read, which is a good thing. Any triple counter play is going to have like a half a second delay. And we're able to get some yards out of that because that linebacker got picked up. So we can try it again as long as they don't shift. They shift, but I can still read that linebacker. Pick up some yards there, and he kind of stayed put. I could have kept that, I guess. This just takes practice. Now, this is a good example of why sometimes this doesn't always work. Is, again, look what I've done. I want to read this guy. If he stays put or comes in, I would prefer to go to the outside. But look what he does. He stays put. I keep it, and once you go out with the quarterback, he's still sitting there. So it's a hit or miss on reading that guy. But it's a nice, consistent thing to do if you can try to make it work. I forgot to hand it off to my fullback. Let's try that again. There's just not a whole lot there. It's a tough play. Again, you can't flip it. You just got to try your best with it. So the next play is the triple option, or it's just an option pass. This is like power option with a pass ability tagged onto it. Oh, before we get into that, let's just do a go up against zone really quick. Let's do a cover 2 zone. There may be some room there. Sometimes, normally, it's easier for me if I just find a hole. If there's a hole right there, I can try to go through it, but if not, I usually keep it. There's different ways to doing it. There's not a concrete method to making this work. But against zone, we can keep it here, and we're off to the races there. Either way, I'm not a huge fan of the play just because of the formation, and you can't flip it. So now let's talk about option pass. We'll go up against a cover 0. You only got 2 routes to work with, and neither one of them works well against zone. So when it's man, I prefer to at least try to make a pass if it's cover 0. But if not, it's going to be tough. The problem is when you call anything from power I formation, you can't really tell if they're going zone. Normally, I like to read this corner if he's like sliding, to his spot. And same with this guy over here. The problem is they hardly ever move once they break the huddle. So it's kind of hard to tell if it's man or zone. But here we're going against cover 0, and look what happens. Somebody always breaks free half the time on this backside, and it's hard to press X to bring the passing icon up. So when you snap the ball, you got to press X twice to bring the passing icons up. As such, this play may work. No, that should have got picked. We could try it again. I'm seeing cover 0, but look what happens. I get sacked. I can try a different cover 0. That could help, I guess. Let's go. Let's do the storm sack red. Maybe a little tougher for that safety to come through. Nope, defensive end comes through. I just have no chance. Just no time whatsoever to make a play. May have a little bit of a chance here. Not bad. So, again, when it's cover 0, I'll attempt it. But as soon as I snap the ball, both safeties come up, as you see there. This guy comes down. This guy comes down. At this point, my next read is over here. Is anybody coming to sack me super hard? If not, then I'm going to bring the passing icons up. I'm not seeing anybody come, so I feel like I got plenty of protection. Then you bring the passing icons up, and this guy's doing that. This guy's doing a flag here. This guy's a little bit easier to hit against cover 0. Just my personal opinion. It just kind of depends on how you want to handle it. So we can try that again. I'm not feeling a whole lot of heat, so I can throw it over the top. So, I mean, you can make a play out of it. You just got to be real quick on your reads. Again, against man, cover 0, against man especially, you snap the ball. These 2 guys come down. After that, read this side. If anybody's coming through real clear, then just toss it. Otherwise, bring up the passing icons as such and just live with the consequences. So that's kind of all there is to know about that play. Now, I can show you what it looks like against zone. We can go up against a cover 3. I hope I can get some protection here. Okay, I brought him up. I'm not seeing anybody open. That guy got open a little bit. I don't think that's going to be very consistent. I could be dead wrong. I almost got intercepted. You're just taking a chance. So, just the way I like to do it personally, if I see cover 0, I'm going to try to go over the top as long as I have protection. Otherwise, I'll just toss it. And looks like my fullback got in the way there. I'm not a huge fan of the triple or the option passes anyways, but I had to show it regardless. All right, next play is fullback inside. I'll go, once we get to corner, I'll talk about the motions. It's a little bit easier when you do a straight pass play. All right, let's go fullback inside. This is your basic A-gap run. Let's go up against a cover 2 man again. If it works halfway against cover 2 man, that's good. Just be patient with the blocking. Do not use the speed button, especially when you're going vertical. Just find a hole and try to get through it until the blocking's halfway decent. That's a good shift here. I'm afraid. I think he got bogged down there. I'm pretty sure you can't flip it, and it looks like you can't. So that's another downside to this play. But blocking's not too bad. That other fullback you see right here usually gets through pretty easily. So I'm just trying to follow him. Go through right here. Just don't use the speed button. Whatever you do. You're going to hear me say that 100 times today, but by all means, don't do it until you're in the clear with pretty much you and the safeties. But there's not much you could do with this play. You can't flip it. It is what it is. We can go up against zone. Now, again, I'm not doing any blitzing plays either. The reason why I call soft coverage, cover 2 man, cover 2 zone, no blitzing, is because if you can't make these run plays work against the most basic coverages, then how are you going to make it work against blitz plays and such? It's just going to be even harder. So let's go up against a zone cover 2. Not much there. Now, I could go, let's see if I can get a block there. Again, just let the blocks do their work. I should have let that one shift a little bit. Let's wait and let the defense do their shifting. Just nobody picked up the block. One thing you got to remember, with practice mode, it's always harder in practice mode to make this stuff work than it is in actual games for whatever reason. Another reason I'm not a big fan of this play is I feel like I'm forced to go left regardless. There's just not a whole... I mean, I can try to force myself to go right. You can kind of do it, but you just, again, you can't use the speed button. It's just another average play. All right, let's talk about triple option reverse. This play, it's quite possible you can flip it because you are dealing with the other fullback, and you can flip it. Let's try it here. You have to... What's weird is, now I have it going right. If you hit triangle and you hit the right button, you would think you want to go right, but when I hit the right button on the D-pad, now it's going left. It's reversed, and I think it's because it's a reverse triple option. But either way, it's just another triple option play. You can read however you want to read. If you want to read a hole up the middle, or if you want to read that play side linebacker, again, for us, it would be like the guy on the left. Looks like he got beat, but our tight end got stopped. I may want to keep this one. There's not a whole lot of room here to work with. I can go the other way. Nope, I'm not going to. One thing that may help, we can try to move this guy. I don't know if it will. Not a bad little run there. At least you can flip the run, just in case. I'm a big guy who enjoys flipping the run. It just gives you a better chance of making a play, because you're just talking about numbers at this point. We can move this guy back over and see if this helps, and I picked the wrong direction again. Like I said, it's reverse. All right, we're going to leave it as is. Let's go this way. But that's how you figure out stuff. You move people around and such, and see if you can get a decent gain out of it. We can try against zone. Here, we go up against cover 3 this time is fine. We can leave that. I can hand this off to this guy. May get some yards out of it, but there's just a whole lot of people up the middle waiting on you to do something. I may want to keep it here. That's just good defense. We were able to get the pitch off. I'm not a huge fan of these triple option plays either. I mean, they're good little change-up plays, don't get me wrong. I can move this guy over, see if this helps on the blocking. And somebody came through. It's a hit or miss with this play. Next up is corner. Now, let's look at corner for a minute. You got a flat route with your halfback, and you got a dig with your backside tight end. To me, this is a left hash play, so we're going to call it, let's go against cover 2 man. Now, this is a basic pass, but let's talk about our motions. Your halfback can go over here, and he can also go out wide over here, pretty much like a slot position look. You can't do that if he's the design runner, though. That's why I picked this play to talk about the motions. You can move this guy out wide here, or you can move him right there. And last but not least, this fullback you can move out here as sort of like a halfback look. And the same on this side. And these are the only three guys you can motion around. You cannot move the tight ends. All right, so we're back to man. To me, my man beaters here would probably be the tight end, and that'd be it as such. I'm not... The flag route, I don't know if it'll work all that well. I just done a little tap with him. Let's go. That looks like a flat route to me. Either way. If it's man, I see cover 2. I think I just may go over the middle. Only downside with that is if somebody's hanging over the middle, like a middle linebacker running a spy, then you may be in trouble. But I think against zone, what will help? Or well, let's just do a cover 0. If it's cover 0, you know what I want to do. I want to try to go over the top to our one deep ball, deep route, which is like that guy right there. It's just a bad throw. Not a huge fan of these flag routes. You got to have really good timing on them. We can try it again. Both safeties coming up. That's just a miracle catch there. And that's an interception. Now I want to talk about zone. We're going to go here, go corner. And let's do cover 2. That's fine. I have a center beater with the tight end. If there's a gaping hole right here, I want to go to this guy. Otherwise, I'm going to just go to my flat route. So when you snap the ball, I don't see a big hole. We'll just go to our flat route, and he gets caught. One thing you can do to speed that up a little bit, if they are going zone, you can go ahead and just move him over there. Helps it a little bit. Actually, it's a little bit steep in terms of where he ends up. But again, I don't see a hole right there, so I can just go back to him. And he got bogged down. I could try to throw it harder. You can get some yards, just not a whole lot. Now, we can try to find a gaping hole over the middle. It's usually cover 4 is a good example. We don't know if it'll work here. We'll try it. The guy's just sitting there, so I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But anyway, if you ever find a hole right there due to blitzing or whatnot, by all means, you can try to give it to him and pick up some yardage. Otherwise, that's all you can really do with that play. You could try this on the right hash, but you're running out of zone options really quick. There's a middle hole open right there. But I think your safe bet is to run this on the left hash with that flat route going to the short side. Of course, you can flip it and run it off the right hash as well. Next up, if I can go to the right formation, let's go. Next up is QB fullback option. This is sort of like a zone read. I'll just show you what it looks like. Now, I think you could flip this. You can flip it, which is good. So we're going to go to the right. You can hand it off to the fullback, the guy right behind the quarterback, or you can keep it. Let's just keep it and see what happens. You can get some blocking, not a whole lot. I feel like I'm going to be chased to death in those situations. There's not much there. Even with the defensive line spread out like that, you think there'd be some room up the middle, but there really isn't. But if you notice, one thing I could have done was read this linebacker. What did he do? He came inside, so I probably should have kept it. We can try that again. They're shifting that way, so we're going to run to our left. I can motion this guy. Maybe it'll help. I saw that linebacker stay put, so I tried to hand it off. Let's try this. Just no blocking on that defender. Wow, somebody just came right on through. That was too easy. It's a hit or miss with this play. Because once you keep it with the quarterback, it's just up to you, the quarterback, making a play. So your quarterback better be special like Chalkley is to do something with it. Otherwise, you're in for a world of hurt. And look, my lineman is struggling to make any decent block. We can try to bring this guy over again. I can't. Nobody picked the guy up. And we could try it again zone. Let's go up against a cover 3. It's fine. I can hand it off. The linebacker stood there, but just not, there wasn't a hole. We can go this way. Maybe get some blocking here. Maybe go in for a touchdown there. I'll go out of bounds. You just got to follow your blocks and don't use the speed button too hard. It's like with anything else. Now, yes, I could be doing a lot of this against goal line, but I know a lot of you people would rather call this formation in various ways. And I can do some goal line stuff later, but I don't think it'll help all that much. All right, next play, we got just a triple option. This should be no different than the triple option counter, except it's actually quicker, which could be a bad thing. Everybody's just there waiting on you. You can't flip it. Oh, you can't flip this because you're dealing with the other fullback. Oh, he was big hole over the middle, and I missed it. We can try it again. Wow, just came right on through. No protection whatsoever. Saw a bit of a hole right there. Not a whole lot, though. There's just not much you could do, but it's your basic triple option, except everybody's crowded around the line. I'm not even going to bother with the zone. There's no point. You guys already know what that's going to look like. All right, PA boot. This would be a right hash play for me, as is, because you got zone beaters underneath, like this guy right here. Now, we're going up against man, so that may be a little bit different. Against man, I would probably go to him, I guess. One thing you may want to try to do, I mean, like, we could try this on the left hash. Wrong guy. This is me just spitballing. You could bring this guy over, but he's already covered pretty well. Now, they got to try to go for the interception. If it's cover 0, you could try to go over the top to your tight end. Or we can try cover 0 here. We can go over the top of that flag route. And it's a one-on-one situation after that. The other backside dig, or the crossing route, I don't know how good of a throw that'll be. It just depends on how congested over the middle is. Did you notice those two guys sitting over the middle? That's another concern I have trying to go over the dig, to the dig route, or that crosser. These two guys were just sitting there. So it's kind of tough to go to this guy. You're just taking a chance. Now, like I said, against zone, we can go up against a cover 2. Go over here. Maybe this circle guy will get open. Got a little bit of room. It's a little bit different when everybody's congested. Like, we could try to go over the middle. Sort of no different than, like, gun bunch. Some of this may work over the middle a little bit more. Like, here's a one-on-one situation there, but that's just a bad throw. That's cover 2 zone. I saw him in a one-on-one situation. That's why I attempted that throw. But in this case, doesn't look good. That's why you're better off treating it like any other PA boot. Doing something like this. At least this guy might get open. It's just a tough play. The biggest problem is these routes are too close to each other. Even against a cover 3, we can try that. Intercepted. I got hit as soon as I threw it, I think. We could try that again. I thought he looked wide open to me. Cover 3 is a possibility right there. Of course, he fumbles it. Otherwise, you can maybe go underneath. It's got a little bit of room. Again, you're just taking a chance. It's an okay play for what it is. Next up, halfback blast. We can just stay in this hash. You can flip it. In this case, we can try to go to the right. Just blocking. It's just, you got to get lucky. I don't know if it's best to, like, motion this guy over, give you a little bit more room. I don't know if he can get to his defender better. You just have to experiment with these motions and see if it helps at all. We can let them do their thing there. See, that corner just stood there on the outside. That's one of the reasons why I don't call this formation a whole lot. He's just going to sit over there and wait on you as such. We can try it against a zone. We can go back to like a cover 2. I can try go this way. Just got to be patient with the blocks and barely get 3 yards regardless. We can try going this way. It's a slow play. I don't know if you've noticed that. It takes a little while for the halfback to get the ball on the run. Again, I'm just got to be patient with the blocks. No speed button whatsoever. And that's my answer to most of the run plays in 06 in any of these games. If you could just wait on your blocks a little bit, you can pick up some decent yards if the blocking is there. All right, next up, we got double ISO. This is probably no different than halfback blast, except it's a little more vertical in nature. It's a little quicker. I don't know if you noticed that. The halfback gets the ball a tad bit quicker. Good thing is you can flip it. Either way, we can go to like the right here. Not a whole lot of room there to work with. Again, since it's man, everybody's going to be kind of congested up the middle. So if you're ever going up against a zone, we can go up against a cover 3 this time. We can try it here. You may find a little more of a crease up the middle somewhere like this. Let's see if they're going to shift like that. We can stay here. Good blocking there. It's not a whole lot to say about this play. It's an ISO play. It's your most basic run play out there. Just got to follow your blocks. That's all you can do with it. All right, next up, we got tight end corner. Just by looking at it, there's no short side zone beater to play with, so you may be in a world of hurting. So in order for me to want to use those tight end corner routes, you got a post and a flag. I may want to do this as a, I don't know, maybe a cover 1 situation. We'll put this on the left hash. I don't see a whole lot of options here. Again, that's a double team. I mean, he caught the ball. If you do a cover 1 here, that's intercepted. The guy just sat there and waited on it. I don't know. That's not. I don't like the routes in it. Against zone, you may have a bit of a chance. Like we could do a cover 2. What happens if I bring this halfback over to distract that safety over there? Maybe can I get this post open? And that was a terrible throw. He must have got hit when he threw it. We could try that again. Again, this is why you go to practice mode. You just move people around and you rep things. Just got in front of that one. We can try that one again. I think there's a possibility with this one against cover 2 zone. Sorta, kinda. Those linebackers stay back pretty far. And then if you have like a hole over the middle, we can try against quarters. We can move over to the right hash and see if he gets open over the middle. He gets open over the middle a little bit. There's a bit of a hole. So that's a possibility. But if you do it over here, it may not be as open as... See, that almost got intercepted. Again, that's why you go to practice mode and fool around with this stuff. That's not too bad right there. I guess you got to throw a little bit quicker as soon as he makes his cut. Makes the cut right there. Throw it over the guy's head. Problem is, I don't have a short side zone beater. I always like to have those. The only thing I can think of is you do something like that, but I don't even think that's going to work. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of that little audible route or hot route because he stops and he goes vertical. Just ignore that part. It's not a very good play. I'm not a fan of it. You may want to treat it as an audible, possibly, but even then, everything's an angle route. Every single route right there is an angle route. I'd rather have at least an out or an in somewhere. And of course, you could hot route any one of those guys to an out if you wanted to. But I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it. All right, halfback power slam. This is like, it'd be no different than blast. We can go up against a basic cover 2 man. Shifting that way. I assume you can flip this, and you can. That's a slow play. It takes a little while for the halfback to get the ball. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, I think it's a bad thing. The blocks can develop, but sometimes if they don't develop, he's going to get caught in the backfield pretty easily. There's just not a whole lot there. We can try to go into the left, flip it this way. Just, I don't know, just not a whole lot there. It's just a very slow run play. We could try to go up against a zone. Let's go up against cover 2. Big hole right there somehow. Again, it's zone. You just try to find vertical, get between 2 defenders, and get up the field as quick as you can. This time, nobody picked the guy up. It's always a hit and miss with these fullbacks trying to block for you. You try to here, just wait on your blocks. It's an okay play. My biggest problem with it is it just takes forever for the halfback to get the ball. By the time he gets it, who knows what's going to happen. All right, next up is fullback trap. Now, this is an interesting play. We can go up against a cover 2. That's fine. The problem, you can't flip it, obviously, because the fullback can only go to one side, which is the left. But this may be one of the reasons why you want to back up halfback using your twin halfback sub packages, because it's really quick. I mean, it's almost like a wing T type of play, if you think about it. To me, it's got a very wing T feel to it. I like how quickly he gets off the ball. He gets the ball really quick. The only problem is you see something like that. They shift in that direction, and you may have a hard time getting some yards. You're going to have to be extra patient on the blocking. Or you could get lucky in this situation. Good block there. Maybe one juke, and you can get a really nice gain out of it. Unfortunately, you just can't flip it. They shift in that direction, and look what happens. You could flip it the old school way by flipping the run itself, but the defense will flip as well, so there's no point in doing it. Good block there. I'm just being patient with the blocks. But it's not a bad play. I actually like it just because the fullback or your backup halfback in this instance gets it really quick. Now we can go up against a zone and see what happens. I'm not a big fan of that shift. That guy's just going to sit there and wait on me. Another bad shift for us. You may have to get vertical like this a little bit. No good protection there. Another bad shift. There's nothing you could do about it. Just nothing is open. It's another hit and miss play, but under the right conditions, especially against man, I think you can get some decent gains out of it. But here, this situation, I think you have no chance. Unfortunately, you just can't flip the run. Okay, next up, we have fullback streak. I don't know what to think about this one. Like, let's do a cover 3. You got a short side zone beater on both sides. I just don't know if either of them would get open. Try to go to that tight end, that may get intercepted. You go over here, like he's just going to get right in front of that thing. You get some yards, but not a whole lot. Your fullback, the one going on the streak, that's your go route. Your other 2 routes, the 2 tight ends, you just don't have a whole lot to work with. I don't see a lot of options here. We could try it over on this side. See if this one's a little quicker. Just a bad throw. We could try that again. Again, I'm hoping this is a short side zone beater, and there's just not a lot to work with there. So outside of cover 0, I don't see a whole lot. So let's try it against man. Let's do it against a cover 2. Let's see if either one of these tight end play routes can do okay. The guy gets right in front of the route, so that's not good. We can throw it to him again. We can let him settle, hopefully. And that's a good tap by the defender. He's double teams. That's not good. Let's try it on this side. There's not a lot of options available here. So I think this play is not very good at all. If you got home field advantage turned off, or it's not, you're playing at home, you may want to audible or hot route a tight end to an out route. It's a little bit easier of a man beater. Otherwise, it's just not very good. I mean, even your halfback is doing a delayed comeback route, which is about useless. Not a fan of that play at all. Next up, we got counter lead. This play may be interesting. Let's go up against a cover 2 man. We can check the pulling guard and see if he pulled quickly enough. This is what I always look for, and he didn't. Okay, this is your pulling guard. What I'm looking for is see if he pulls as soon as you snap it. He's still in the 3-point stance, and we've already snapped the ball. That means this probably isn't a very good counterplay, unfortunately. But there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, you can flip it. No, you can't even flip the play. That's even worse. Well, that stinks. You can't even flip it. So you got no choice but to go to the right. That guard will always be slow on the block. So I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to have a hard time getting anything out of this play. I don't know what else you can do to help it. Like, I don't know if that helps moving him over. Maybe bring this guy over. I don't know. I think you're going to have a hard time with this play. We can try it against zone. Let's do a cover 3 this time. We got no choice but to go right because we can't flip it. And somebody came through. Why did he come through? Because of that pulling guard. Nobody picked him up once they got pulled. And I want to flip the play. They ain't going to let me. So you're just between a rock and a hard place with this play. I advise not using that one at all. You can't even flip it. That's what's even worse, and the guard doesn't even pull correctly. Next up is halfback lead toss. Now, you know how I feel about these toss plays. I'm assuming this one doesn't work as well, but can you at least flip it? You can't even flip it. You're forced to go to one side unless you audible to the other side. You got to be super patient with these tosses. That was actually decent blocking there. We can try that again. Get a block there. Super patient. We'll try it again. Somebody's going to come through eventually. That's normally what I see. Now, if you do go up against a blitz of some sort, like we can try this one. This one may work. That's what I usually see. You just have no chance of getting to the outside whatsoever. The blocking just has to be superb, and it's just not. And we can try to go up against a zone play. We go against cover 2. Just not a whole lot there. Again, I can't go to the left. It won't let me. So you got no choice. And you're going to have plays like that. That's why I don't run toss plays in this game. They're just too inconsistent. Now, I think we got a couple more plays left. Let's go PA fly. Now, I think this play may be interesting. If you notice here, let's go up against cover 0 is fine. You got a cover 0 beater, a nice one, a simple go route, a play action no less off a tight end. Sometimes I think he may get decent separation. He didn't there, but it's still a one-on-one ordeal, which I'll take that any day of the week. Okay, so that's a nice little cover 0 beater, but I'm going to get sacked. I like that it's a quick play action. You just got to have decent protection off of that. But at least he does the play action quick. That's because he's doing play action off that fullback. Sort of like in the flex bone formations. The problem is, like what we can do, let's do practice type. Let's go skeleton. And let's call this same play. And let's do a cover 2 is fine. So if your go route isn't open due to it's cover 1 or cover 2, you can got a little spider 2 wide banana situation here with the fullback, but without the banana part. Without, you got to go route instead. But he can get a little separation possibly. It just, kind of depends. Maybe you can move him over. I don't know if this will help or not. Not really. The guy still got pretty close to him. But it's still a decent man beater. Now, that flag route, I wouldn't bother with it whatsoever. It's there for one reason alone. It's to distract the right side of the field. So if you go here, let's go up against a cover 2. Your cover 2 zone beater will probably be your halfback going up the sideline right here. Not bad. That corner route on the left side is going to distract anybody over on that side. So you can get some decent gains out of that one. But if it's cover 3 or cover 4, you should have some room with this flat route. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's just something you have to play with. I can go back and go to practice type. We can try that again. Maybe it works a little bit different without me calling the non-normal thing. Let's go cover 4 and see what happens. And if you... I just got sacked. Somebody didn't pick him up. Let's go here. Try it again. There's a little bit of separation. It's not too bad. One thing that may help is if you bring him over. I don't know. Yeah, he gets a little more wide open there. One thing I do want to try before we go on to the last play is we'll go up against cover 2 man and motion him over. See if that's a better route, better option. Not really, because the corner is covering him. That's another reason why I'm not a huge fan of this formation. This corner's just sitting there, and nobody's going to pick that guy up other than that corner. Like, I could try to do this. We've done this a little bit earlier. You may have a chance there. I don't know. Everybody's just too congested. It's just hard to get any decent play out of it. But honestly, you got better options against zone than you do man outside of the cover 0 beater. But it's actually probably the best pass play in the formation as long as you get decent blocking. So it's not too bad. All right, last play is fullback blast. Here we can go to one of the hashes. Goes against cover 2 man. You should be able to flip this, and you can. So in this case, I may just want to run to the left, get a decent game there. No hard shift. We can go to our right, get an extra blocker. Not too bad. Very quick run. I like the quick ones. I'm not going to get a whole lot there. I think this fullback's not super fast. We can try over here again. He's going to fumble it. I figure he would since he's not a good runner. We can try to go to the left again. Not a whole lot there. I don't even think you can go to the outside with this one because it's so quick. We can try it. See, it's just kind of hard to get to the outside. You're so close to the line, you're just better off finding a hole and like this and trying your best. So against zone, we can go against like cover 3, it's fine. May have a chance there. Again, try to get as vertical as quickly as you can against the zones. We can go this way. Defensive end picked me up. Not a bad little play there, but again, he's kind of slow. Either way, that's not a bad little run. That's probably the best fullback run you got in the formation because at least you can flip it, and it's quick. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, that's all of the plays. But you may want to... Okay, we just covered all of the plays. Most of these don't work on normal downs for me. Me personally, somebody out there may be able to run these plays to a T somehow, some way, and I'm just forgetting or missing something. But for me, they don't work all that well. But these plays may work halfway decent in goal line situations. So we can go all the way up here, and we can try goal line on a couple different things. I'm just trying to think of some plays that may work halfway decent. Like we can go like right here. I don't know if this play will work. At least it's quick. He just couldn't get to the outside quick enough. Problem is that corner's just sitting there. We can wait till he comes over. Don't know if that'll help. You know, you could just practice, fool around with some of these plays on the goal line and see if they're a little more useful. One thing that this formation also needs is some halfback runs to the outside. There really isn't any good ones. Counter lead is a bad one. Halfback toss is a bad one. And that is it. Halfback blast may be your best one, or that power slam. We can try one of these. We can go to the right. I'm just doing random formation defense. No good blocking there. We can try going to the left. I mean, it's okay. I mean, we got the touchdown, but it's not like we had a gaping hole either. Just a slow run. We can try that power slam. And we'll do a random formation. That's more of a B-gap run. I just don't know if you're going to have a whole lot of success with it. But again, just go and practice some of these. I'm not going to do that in this video. I don't think there's any point. But you get the idea. If you're a fan of this formation, by all means use it. For me, going through what we just went through now, I haven't seen anything that makes me want to run this formation. But at least we covered it. And hopefully this helped out at least my buddy Brandon, who asked me about this. Maybe that'll convince him to either not bother with it, or he may have found a play he really liked. It's up to anybody who watches this to see what they like on some of these. All right, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm going to try to do maybe more of these. I just kind of forget to do so, but hopefully somebody got something out of this particular video. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.